Hey, what's going on? It's Jack from jackbeats.com. And figured I'd do a stream today. I don't normally do this. Usually I'm just posting beats, but there's been a lot of stuff going on, man. As you all know, this Travis Scott thing is freaking crazy. Like, Travis Scott's one of those guys who he's been around for really like a decade, but he didn't really blow up until like the last five to 7 years. And I've been following him ever since. I absolutely love his music, but this shit right here with Astro World, this shit crazy. It's just one of those things where you gotta really you know just look at what's going on. I mean, I'm just kind of reacting to it. Um, but he had the Astro World he does every year. I've seen some of the shows. I've never been to one, but I've seen them, and they're absolutely crazy. It's insane, the energy at the shows, and you can feel it even if you're watching it. So it's truly amazing, just kind of like how much energy he puts into it and effort to choreograph everything. Now he does always have the issue where he kind of entices crazy behavior, and it's always been signs in the past, but um, this just took the cake. I mean, I think last I heard it was like 11 deaths and just insane. People are coming out with lawsuits, and it's just a lot, man. So I just want to kind of take a look at some of these stories that we're seeing. And let me pull up this first one. Yeah, this one, somebody said it was a death trap, and I hear a lot of people say that. You've seen the videos, and people like they can't breathe, and people passed out. And I saw one video where a girl was literally laying on the ground, or a guy was laying on the ground, turning black and blue, and then they pan the camera over, and this chick is just sitting there like this, like it's lit, like yo, like dude is dead, and you sitting there just turning up. I mean, that's crazy. Like, you would think as a human being, you're in that situation and you see somebody down, that you would be concerned or trying to stop, and a lot of people were. You did see people climbing up on different cameras and stands and stuff, trying to get people's attention to stop the show. I saw a group of people chanting "Stop the show." It was just insane. Um, and Astro World is something that I wouldn't mind going to. I know some people not the biggest fans of Travis Scott, but I would have went. But I'm glad I didn't. Otherwise, I might not be making beats no more. But anyways, that's besides the point. This says more than a dozen lawsuits have already been filed, but last I heard it was 19 or 20. So I'm sure it's more than that. Let's see. These complaints could well just be the first round of suits. Yes, they were, because there have been a lot more since. Let's see. In Texas, in most jurisdictions, the people in charge of concert have a duty to the invitees. In this case, the audience members to exercise reasonable care to protect them against unreasonable, dangerous conditions on the premises, so long as the defendants knew or should have known about the dangerous conditions. In this case, Live Nation was the event organizer. Now, I've been doing music for a long time, and Live Nation goes way back. Like, they go way back. They're not new to this, so they should have had their act together and understood the concerns as to what was going on in this event. It's a Travis Scott event, but it's also a Live Nation event. Now, Live Nation has had tons of deaths and injuries at their events. If I remember correctly, Live Nation since about 2007 has had about 200 deaths at their events. 200. So this isn't new to them. They've had over 700 injuries that were reported since I believe it was since 2007. So this isn't new to them. They should have been fully aware and should have been able to take the proper precautions to make sure this doesn't happen. Unfortunately, they did not. Yeah, and it's just really unfortunate to see these things happen. All right, let's take a look at. Yeah, let's take a look at this one. Family of 9-year-old left in coma after Astroworld files suit against Travis Scott promoters. This story came out on the 9th. Family of a 9-year-old boy who's clinging to life after being crushed at Friday's Astroworld concert. Houston, of course, filed a lawsuit. Yeah, that's just crazy. Yeah, I would never bring just knowing Travis Scott shows, I would never bring my kid to my 9-year-old to a show like that. Anything with a mosh pit, I would never bring my kid. That's crazy. But it's unfortunate. It shouldn't happen regardless. Man, that's crazy. And in the lawsuit, I noticed a lot of these stories are talking about Travis Scott and Live Nation, but Drake is also named in the lawsuit too as being negligible for what happened. So they're going after everybody, and it's one of those things where even if Travis Scott and Drake aren't the main people who are going to be held responsible, they have to attach a name to the case. So they attach the biggest names, but in my opinion, Live Nation is mostly responsible for this. But the onus does fall on the artist, and if they know that this is happening, or in Travis Scott's case, he's kind of enticed those type of behaviors before, telling people to run through barricades and just rage and go crazy. It's not the heavy metal stuff where like I saw one heavy metal mosh pit where the guy's on stage and he tells everyone to separate and he says, "You motherfuckers over there, kill those motherfuckers over there, and you motherfuckers over there, kill those motherfuckers over there." It wasn't like that, but Travis Scott does entice that kind of rage behavior. So lawsuits seeking more than $1 million for the defendants. Grossly negligent conduct, which allegedly includes failing to have adequate security, medical staff on hand to stop the show. Yeah, it looked like there was not enough people there. I saw a scene where the police or the ambulance, they were trying to resuscitate somebody, and people were jumping on top of the ambulance, and I'm like, it's not part of the show. Like, so it was pretty wild that nobody could really stop what was going on. You just hope that everyone that did survive makes a full recovery, because that's pretty wild what happened there. Yeah, there's a picture of a guy getting carried out, and Travis Scott's up there. Now people were saying that Travis Scott just kept going and didn't stop at all, but from all the footage that I've seen, once he realized somebody was passed out, being carried out, he did stop. It sounds like he stopped 3 times. Now, whether he knew people were dying and things like that, I don't know. I have no way of knowing that. So that's something that remains to be seen, and we'll see what comes out of there. Going into the gates of hell, huh? Looks like a lit show from the outside. On the inside, sounds like it was hell. Yeah, so this ended up being a mass casualty event, the likes of anything we've seen in hip hop. So we'll see how that pans out. But it's pretty wild, man. It's pretty wild. Just reflecting on the event, I've been in shows and been at major artist shows where they're raging and there's a mosh pit, and I've been to shows where there's maybe 3,000 people, and those mosh pits were pretty intense. Like, if you were a small person, get the fuck out. Don't stay in there. So they can be pretty intense. All right, next we'll look at Live Nation. See what they have on that story. It's the company that ran the event. Let's see what's on here. Yeah. Live Nation has a long history of safety violations. Rapper Travis Scott was the most recognizable figure associated with Astroworld in Houston's music festival that ended tragically last Friday, when 8 people died. Ended up being a few more than that. Live Nation is the world's largest live events company, and one that has already been linked to hundreds of deaths and injuries in the past 15 years. So here we go. So Live Nation has been connected with about 200 deaths and at least 750 injuries since 2006, per the Houston Chronicle report that came out Monday after searching past court records. Occupational Safety and Health Administration reports and news coverage has also found numerous OSHA citations against Live Nation. In a message posted to social media on Saturday, the company wrote, "Heartbroken for those lost and impacted at Astroworld last night. We will continue to provide as much information and assistance as possible to the local authorities as they investigate the situation." This story also says at least 12 lawsuits, but last I heard there was around 20. So I'm sure they're going to keep adding up, because there was a lot there. There was a whole lot there. Some more here on Live Nation. Live Nation linked to incidents reported by the Houston Chronicle that include deaths, injuries committed by intruders, including a suicide bomber who attacked an Ariana Grande concert in Manchester, England in 2017. I vaguely remember hearing about that. And the mass shooting at Route 91, Harvest Country Music Festival in Las Vegas later that year. I remember that one. That one was pretty tragic. It's amazing. I mean, they're so big that it's like they just they're more likely to run into those situations. But you would think they would up their security, when they're consistently having these type of things happen. Those incidents also include a 2011 stage collapse in Indiana, in which 7 people were killed and 61 injured. The company settled with the victims for $50 million in 2013 incident. I'm sorry, I just did a whole run-on sentence there. It's been a long day. Forgive me. In a 2013 incident, a concert staffer in Long Island suffered brain damage after a forklift tipped over the booth he had been working in. A jury awarded him $101 million. Man, that's a lot. They also had a safety violations, including an incident in 2018 where a Live Nation employee was hit on the head by a 6-foot steel metal post that tipped over. The victim required hospitalization. Just last week, Live Nation reported $2.7 billion in revenue for its third quarter, beating Wall Street expectations. Companies attributed its growth to consumers' pent-up demand for concerts, festivals, and other live events that had been squelched by that pandemic. YouTube will flag you for saying certain words, and that's one of them. I don't want to get shadow banned on my first video like this. The company has also been able to corner even more live events in the market during the past 19 months, as smaller independent venues and organizers have struggled to stay afloat during lockdowns. In the aftermath of the Astroworld tragedy, Live Nation stock slid more than 4% during trading on Monday. Wow, that's a pretty big dip in the stock market. I know if you're into crypto, that's nothing. But in the stock market, that's a pretty big dip for for a day. That happens in an hour in crypto. You dip 4% and go up 10%, but that's a whole nother story. In the inaugural edition of Astroworld in 2019, 3 people were injured in a stampede while trying to get into the festival, which was also held at NRG Park. The event was canceled in 2020 due to the name that I shall not say. More stories that kind of, you can see this is not a one-off incident. Things happen all the time, and it was just like the perfect storm. As Live Nation, they have things happen. Travis Scott pushes the boundaries, and unfortunately ended up with this. Travis Scott had an event where there was a guy standing on, I don't know if he was on a balcony or something like that, and he was acting like he was going to jump off, and I remember Travis Scott saying, "Okay, you up there, but you ain't going to do it, are you? You going to do it?" Like, go ahead and jump. If you're gonna jump, the guy jumped and he ended up paralyzed. So things aren't mounting up in favor of Travis Scott in this situation. So if you're an artist, maybe not tell people to jump off balconies to make your show more lit. Yeah. All right, moving on. So this story also came out. Astroworld Travis Scott and Drake sued over deadly festival crush. So more along the lines of what I've said before. See, can I play this? Let's see.
As soon as Travis Scott came out, it got crazy. People started punching and shoving and doing horrendous things to each other. There wasn't room to breathe.
Turn the lights on. Turn the lights on.
Our family is grieving for my brother Danish. He died saving his fiance. She was getting hurt, hit left and right. He didn't deserve it. He tried saving her and he saved her. She was admitted into the hospital and cost him his life.
It was for about a couple minutes that I was seeing two bodies laying down right behind me. The security guard was just right next to me talking to another security guard saying that he didn't have a pulse.
It felt like a million people there at once, like people just like passing out and like you could barely catch your breath.
It took us a couple of hours to kind of like wrap our head around what has happened. We've been to many festivals before. We've seen Travis Scott perform many times before as well. And nothing like this has ever happened.
Wow, that was pretty crazy. Lawsuit includes allegations that Scott and surprise performer Drake incited the crowd and the concert producer Live Nation failed to provide adequate safety measures. The rappers and Live Nation have not responded directly to the suits. Scott did put out a video saying that he's working to help the families of the victim. The youngest of those killed was 14 years old. Yeah, I know it's kind of a downer video, but this is what's happening right now. Hopefully moving forward, though, we'll have much more upbeat videos on things that are happening in the music industry. This one's it's pretty crazy. So, it is what it is. But as an artist, we do want to make sure we know what's going on. So that we don't make the same mistakes. Of course, when as we get bigger and do what we do, even if it's a small venue, you can be held liable if you're not following proper safety measures, even as a small artist. So to see this happen with major artists, major event holders, it does kind of make you think, oh man, I've been at small events and I've seen some crazy shit. I saw somebody get hit with a pineapple one time, random as fuck. But very random. I don't know why. Sway Lee had a pineapple, but yeah. Anyways, it's your boy Jack from jackbeats.com. More beats coming soon. I'm gonna cover more stories like this just to keep you informed with what's going on. More beats coming to jackbeats.com. That's JAKBEATS.com. Just like the name says in the bottom. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. Let me know what y'all think about this story. What do you think happened? What do you think could have happened or should have happened? What would you do different? Let me know. I'm gonna read the comments. So I'm interested. I don't know, man. It's wild. But I want to hear what you guys got to say. And if you see any stories you want me to talk about, leave that in the comments too, so that I can check it out and see what else I can find out on it. All right. Y'all have a good one. I'm out.